Welcome to the CBH Report, your home for the latest Come Block Home SMP news. With this week wrapping up, Oh, what's this? Breaking news! It seems some kind of accident has happened at Solution Towers. We highly recommend all viewers pause our video and head over to Strife's channel. Watch this video to get all the breaking news. That's right, folks. From our experts on the ground, we can plainly see Strife Towers has been destroyed in some terrible accident. Oh boy! There will likely be no chance of recovering the building after such extensive damage. Luckily, an eagle-eyed member of our staff noticed Strife limping off into the distance, seemingly mostly unharmed, and that same old determined glint in his eyes. We always knew he was too stubborn for even death herself to claim. And now, a word from our sponsor. We met a sweet sylph in a grove, living quietly in her alcove. Her name? Applebee. She picks apples with glee, and to earn those fresh fruits we all strove. Confused? Blame Kieran while we take our check in the mail. In more regular and definitely not calmer news, Nifty has a Glock. The Dragon has, as per usual, been advancing pretty quickly in everything they do, even outpacing themselves. The accidental killing of multiple pets and several villages, that's right, villages, has caused their fancy holy sword to transform into some sort of edgy variant. While a cool effect, enchantments tend to not get carried over, which is an issue when you have about 1 million enchantments on every piece of gear you own. With more blood and incorrect information on his hands, one can't help but wonder if the vampires are the true threat on the server. Let's just hope he thinks carefully before acting on that questionable information Kieran gave him. Meanwhile, Kieran has been determined to try and find any sort of edge over the thick as a brick Witcher. Unfortunately for them, they've had other things taking up their attention, like the forming of the Umbrella Squad, and yet another forest burning down around them. The Umbrella Squad is the result of the rest of the server finding their own versions of Lion's Umbrella, if you didn't know. While less powerful and not nearly as heavily enchanted as the Fays, they're still good for a lot of trolling and long drawn out fights in said Fays' home. Kieran truly has been having a lot of fun this week. They even sprouted horns. How very normal and not concerning behavior. With a screen clipping amount of enchantments, Lying has gained many powerful items on the server, including what is likely the most powerful stake to ever exist. As one cannot use a stake without being a vampire hunter, it's clear the Fae is making sure everyone knows that they will not be cowed by vampiric threats. After kidnapping a blaze for the cause and dealing with a bunch of rowdy umbrella-wielding hooligans, Lying has begun to put more work into fixing up the aesthetics of the general area. Instead of building a normal nether portal like most people, they have put in the extra effort of making a secret moving one. While the portal itself breaks if it's moved, the sheer aesthetic and cool factor of such a thing has been deemed worth the hassle. It seems Tevela has been wasting no time, growing faster in vampiric power than even Kieran. While there weren't too many streams from the odd couple this week, Tevela has still managed to further gain the favor of the enigmatic Kieran through returning a book lost to a thieving pixie. While Kieran expressed intense gratitude for Tevela, Strife was a lot more coldly rebuffed when he tried to weasel himself in. It appears he has been deemed less than sentient for not being a vampire himself, and the property of his minder, Tevela, until he has turned in kind. I'm sure you can imagine just how much this offended Strife, but there's very little he can really do to strike back at such an insult, even if he proceeded to make fun of Kieran for their response to the eclipse to be to try and shoot the sun. Apparently, Kieran and Strife have been bickering back and forth constantly about who the true evil one between them is, with Kieran insisting that they've done nothing wrong, like this is sunless or something, and that Strife is literally a capitalist, while Strife has been happy to point out the many blood-themed atrocities Kieran has committed, showing disgust at the idea of them running a generator off of blood. Luckily, at least one thing has gone right for Strife. Thanks to how little Kieran and Tev care about personal space, he's installed himself with a powerful knockback to make biting and more touchy-feely stuff a lot harder. The cottage duo seem to finally be making good strides into power on the server. With no one else streaming this week and nothing else to report, we call this week's report to a close. Join us next week for the next Come Block Home Report, your best series for understanding just what's going on with your favorite small creators.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or we may start showing you an edited graph like everyone else.
Eagle-eyed, eagle-eyed, eagle-eyed. Eagle-eyed, eagle-eyed, eagle-eyed. Eagle-eyed, eagle-eyed, eagle-eyed. Yeah, go ahead. Whack me with your silly little newspaper. See if it changes anything.